Hello and good day, everyone. My name is Leah Fournier. I am a Master of Public Health candidate at the University of New England, and this is my GPH 738 Program Planning and Evaluation Grant Proposal presentation. First, let's examine some cursory statistics that provide a contextual overview of mental illness and PTSD within the civilian population. It is estimated that among the adult population currently, 1 in 5 Americans suffer from some form of mental disorder, and a further 6 in 100 of these individuals will endure post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms or PTSD. Given that frame of reference, we can now examine the disproportionate rate by which PTSD affects our target population, uniformed service members, the likes of which make up roughly 7% of the United States' total population, and a staggering 3/4 of which have now served our country during a time of war. PTSD is defined as a disorder that sometimes develops following a shocking, scary, or dangerous event, and may include flashbacks, recurring memories or dreams, and even manifest into physical signs of stress. I cite the next statistic cautiously, where an estimated 7 in 100 combatant personnel are approximated to suffer from PTSD. It is the philosophy of this research team that, secondarily to internal and externalized stigma, these rates are grossly underestimated, as wartime scenarios unsurprisingly expose individuals to extreme violence and thus perpetuate manifested psychological coping techniques that the individual may not even be aware they are exhibiting. Statisticians have managed to capture the further disparities that exist according to race and gender, however. 8% more of female veterans and a further 13.8% of African American service-separated individuals live with the disorder on a daily, sometimes multiple experiences a day basis. Before we delve into our proposed program, I feel it is important to first identify associations within and throughout our chosen community to partner with to ensure maximal program efficacy. Firstly, we plan to collaborate with the internationally recognized Wounded Warrior Project, an independent, not-for-profit organization that has historically already been involved in funding and implementing veteran health workshops, as well as the VA's National Center for PTSD, a center with various other previously implemented programs, such as readjustment counseling centers, inpatient rehab facilities, and even developed the Women's Stress Disorder Treatment Team to address disparate levels of PTSD among uniformed women. Additionally, the U.S. Air Force has an auxiliary civil service program called Civil Air Patrol that boasts tenured adults titled senior members as well as cadets, usually individuals in middle or high school, that are interested in a military career and join to become educated on such topics as search and rescue procedures, military standards, and a gentle acquaintance with procedure and physical fitness. While senior members bring their life experience and expertise to the table, cadets possess the youthful intent to civilly serve in all capacities and could benefit on multiple levels from involvement if, like so many choose to do, they enlist in the armed forces following graduation. And now, without further ado, please allow me to present Mission Remission, a mental health training program developed by veterans for veterans that aims to transform PTSD from a nightmarish reality to a distant memory of the past. Mission Remission is a civilian-military co-op program that recognizes the unique impact civilian psychologists have within the civilian community and translates this experience into a military lifestyle-friendly terminology, bypassing concerns previously implemented programs have had concerning combat credibility of non-combatant personnel. Mission Remission learned from previous programs that, by a civilian delivering mental health and self-care material, this non-service member lacks credibility as they have not, in layman's terms, walked the walk that they are talking. If psychologists without military training then trained those who are combat-oriented, and these individuals take what they have learned and convert this experience into one accepted by the military community, however, what then could stand in the way of program success? Operating under the trans-theoretical and health belief models of change, this program seeks to combine the pre-contemplation through maintenance phases from trans theory with modifying threat perceptions from the health belief theory to decrease overall likelihood of PTSD manifestation by employing coping and stress maintenance techniques actively during a traumatic incident. Our team has identified a particular disparate need for public health intervention within the nation's own capital region, as this district falls within the top 10 least desirable cities for veterans to reside within. Additionally, the DC National Guard is comprised of more than 2,700 active duty service members that routinely still deploy to areas of great life endangerment, despite maybe not being on par with the deployment due to varying lengths of peacekeeping missions. Mission Remission would like to implement the program within DC's own National Guard regiment using the following effect theory diagram as a guide. Now, our required antecedent factors are going to be DC Guardsmen who have served in any overseas capacity honorably. Our causal factors are going to be their exposure, often repetitious, to intense wartime scenarios that frequently prime psychological trauma, as well as service members necessitating precondition of being isolated from family members for mission security purposes. Mediators include an individual's previous psychiatric history or exposure to traumatic scenarios, as well as expeditious identification that a traumatic response has been triggered and may be in need of mediating. Support from fellow service members and cadre is expected to play a moderating role, as well as continual contact with stateside loved ones and the preparatory PTSD training suggested. All of these factors are important to keep in mind throughout program implementation and sustenance. Mission Remission has 3 primary SMART goals and a total of 6 subsequent program objectives. The first goal, a 25% reduction in post-combat PTSD incidents, will be a graded utilization of preventative coping strategies and techniques before, during, and after deployment, with demonstrated ability to identify PTSD presentation also measured before and after deployment. Our second SMART goal involves a 20% increase in effective management of already established PTSD symptoms and will be measured in 2 ways, via the Deployment Risk and Resilience Inventory and via the Garcia Optimism Scale at an estimated 10% increase in measurements respectively. Our third goal shoots at a 15% increase in combatant and non-combatant internetworking. This goal will be measured by distributing secure email polls to study participants as well as their family members at 3 and 6 months post-study follow-up, and are estimated to be at 10 to 15% improvement from baseline. Additionally, since this final goal means that a comparison group isn't really possible, a one-group pre-test, post-test design would work best in terms of program process evaluation, though the ability to draw meaningful conclusions from the lacking comparison group may jeopardize somewhat external validity. Finally, we have included a program-specific logic model. I invite you to please pause the video to get a better overview of what this logic model has to offer. Ideally, if this were an in-person presentation, this model would be included in program handouts for whomever is attending the presentation to better review at their own leisure. Thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to viewing everyone else's presentations.